Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Welcome, dear friends, to Kardec Radio and the Spiritist Society of Virginia, here in our online spiritual care, which is our spiritual treatment at a distance. You're welcome to join us. Prepare yourself. This is a moment, it's very short, 20-25 minutes, maximum 30 minutes. Prepare your bottle of water, prepare where you are, and if possible, turn off all and everything but this. Keep it on. And have a glass of water, a jar of water, anything. Because the good spirits, they will pay us a visit. And they will be delivering the treatment that we need. We have many stories of people who have done this online spiritual care in critical times, and they feel the difference. They see how the good spirits are unfailing. You and I, we are all here in this current, sustaining it for the good spirits to do what they need to do in the name of God. So now, it is an opportunity for us to join forces, pray, receive the remedies, and then receive the passes as well. Let us begin with our prayer, shall we, friends? Dear God, dear loving spirits, directors of the Spiritist Society of Virginia and Kardec Radio, it is a blessing for us to be here. It feels deeply renewing. We need new beginnings. We need to think and feel differently. Loving Master Jesus, you have patiently awaited us, always encouraging us to new beginnings. Thank you for health, resources, and the opportunity to partake in your governance of the earth as we learn to govern ourselves. As we are here united, incarnates, discarnates, in this presential and online connection. We visualize rays of healing light showering upon us. We see the loving spirit doctors traveling their way to see those who have their names in the book of prayer at Kardec Radio and the Spiritist Society of Virginia. I rejoice and feel your presence guiding us, all of us, inspiring each one of us, bringing solutions, resolutions to our inner remodeling. With deep gratitude and praiseworthy for God's greatness, we begin this therapeutic meeting with your loving permission, and so be it. Friends, as we talk about God, we are going to talk about divine assistance. It's chapter 13 of the book Happy Life. Joanna de Angelis through Divaldo Franco shares with us this very short message. And she begins by mentioning to us, always rely on divine assistance. The question is, do we? Do we rely on divine assistance? And how often do we do it? Do we do it often? You know, is it like rarely, sometimes, often, or always? Because she begins with the word always. And it's not by chance. Because when she says always, she's saying it should be our daily practice, our moment-to-moment practice. Sometimes we go desperate because we rely on a certain family member, on a friend, on the economy, on our country, on the current scenario of the world. And then, of course, we are not optimistic at all. But what difference will it make when we shift gears and say, I rely on God's assistance always? Meaning, I don't know how, but God knows it. If God knows it, everything should pass. Joseph of Egypt had his own experience. He was betrayed by his very brothers. He was sold to slavery at a time in which very likely being sold to slavery meant death or eternal, quote unquote, slavery. He could have gone desperate. Did he? Soon he understood God had a plan. He didn't know what plan it was, but he felt there was a reason for him to be somewhere else. And being captive, he kept himself delving within his connection with God. His mediumistic abilities kept opening up. He was a man, medium, who knew how to interpret the dreams, his dreams, the dreams of others. A guard had dreams he didn't understand. And Joseph was able to unveil the meaning, decoding the dream. One day, the Pharaoh himself was bothered by a dream where he couldn't understand the meaning, and it was very troublesome because he had a message that certainly meant a big deal for the nation. Back then, it was the empire of all times. And the guard got to know of how bothered, troubled the Pharaoh was, and recalled that captive man, Joseph, the Jewish one, knew how to interpret dreams. He called him up. And from there on, it's history. He not only saved the Jewish people, but he saved the very kingdom of Egypt, changing the course of history forever. He forgave his brothers, and he saved them also from famine. So he is an example, not by chance. He is there in the Bible, in the Genesis, reminding us of the importance of relying on God always. When people are looking at us and thinking, you're not going to amount to anything, you're never going to be able to do this, you can say, I believe in God, then there's nothing impossible for God. Nothing. Nowadays, you look at the news and you see 80, 90-year-old people graduating from high school, college, PhDs, showing to us nothing is impossible. You see elderly people accomplishing wonderful fitness activities, unlike many youth who are trashing their health out. So, what is impossible for God? Nothing. We cannot limit our lives by dictating the limit of our lives. Only God can. We rely on God. And Joanna says, when you feel yourself besieged, without any chance of release, help will arrive from God. Joseph of Egypt is the very example of it all. When there was no way out, who could tell that he would be out and actually the second most important administrator of Egypt? Never doubt the parenthood of God. When we're there, just like this cute dog, feeling like immersed in this cold snow, somebody's gonna come to our rescue. God looks after you and helps you, not always as you might like, but in best way possible for your real happiness. So what do we ask? We don't ask, oh God, please give me that car. Though some people say you need to think exactly which car you want in order to get that car. That's not how it works. Yes, we need to know the color of the paint we're going to paint the house to make it manifest. But to manifest things, we need to have absence of conflict. When we are cherishing inner conflicts, no matter how precise we visualize what we want to manifest, we still have the inner conflict. So we need to go within and resolve these inner conflicts. If I say, I don't deserve it, well, God has that car around the corner for you, but you don't deserve it. So then no matter if it matches your visualization, there is a roadblock. Get rid of the roadblock. How so? Humility. Because when we say, I don't deserve it, it means that I am my judge. And if I am the judge, God is not going to power struggle with us. He's going to let us be. Oh, you think you don't deserve it? Well, then let you learn that you deserve, because God is the one that says your merits, not you. Who are we to say I don't deserve? We're trying to be better than God. Then God cannot help us. At times, you have the impression that divine help will not come or we will arrive too late. Yeah, sometimes you have that bill to pay and you think, how am I going to pay it? Relax and think. There is creativity. There are many ways to come around and honestly and in dignifying way finding solutions for paying that bill. Yes, resisting that impulse from previous lives of getting into clandestine works. Yes, we have to be very careful. So many people justify their little crimes, yeah, because it's a crime, by saying, yeah, but I needed the money. Yeah. A thief or somebody who betrays or lies, you don't need a big lie, small lie is a lie. There's no big cheat, small cheat. There's cheat. There's no small betray, big betray. There's betray. There's no small vengeance, big vengeance. There's vengeance. And it comes in all ways and forms. So we need to trust. And that's why you and I reincarnated, to practice faith, to practice resilience, to practice patience, to practice perseverance, determination, and courage. But if we're stuck in old patterns, when we quickly fell back in old patterns, we're not going to progress. We're going to have to reincarnate time and again with the same trials, same tests, till we surrender and say, I relax and I trust in God. That's it. I relax. Don't listen to the world. What does the world know? What does the world know? Sincerely, nothing. Remember when I had Virginia, I was 41 years of age. And it was a beautiful pregnancy. I had friends who were much younger and had children. They had problems because it's nothing to do with age. But science says, yes, we respect science, but does science know it all? No, science doesn't know it all. Science knows a bit, but not everything. But God knows it all. Relax, rejoice, enjoy that moment. And she wraps up by saying, after the crucial moment, if you have persevered in waiting for it, look what she says, persevered in waiting for it, you will find that help came a few moments before any other event happened. Persevere in waiting. That means endurance. To endure. Yes, sometimes, like you're thirsty and you say, I'm going to buy a bottle of water. Well, you're just a mile away from home. Just wait. Go home and drink it at home. Why spending that money? Endure. Be resilient. So, wait. And even at deathbed, when people become distraught because they feel the end is coming, but they cannot control when the end is coming. That's the hardest. Because you have to persevere in waiting for the transition. What do we do then? We need to practice now. Practice this surrender to God. Total surrender. Like babies. Remember when you're a baby, you're not worried about anything. You didn't ask your mom, Mom, pick me up. Did you forget? Well, maybe if you had a wet diaper or you're hungry, but usually you trust. So feel yourself. That's the exercise for us. Total surrender. It's as if we're babies being rocked by God. Always. If you feel yourself like a baby being rocked by God, though we have to do our things, that way we're going to be practicing what Joanna de Angelis said at the beginning. Always rely on God. The ultimate model, of course, is Jesus. Because in good and bad times, he taught us how to rely on God, to surrender to God like a baby. Though he was an adult, he was always like, oh, Father, please help me. Sustain the plan, your will, not my will, but yours. Let us be inspired, prepare ourselves, as our dear Daisy is coming here to lead us into the passes and the prayer. So we now ask everyone to close their eyes if you can. Let us practice right now at this very moment this trust in God, in His designs. Let us feel ourselves as this baby who is enveloped in the warm, caring, and loving arms of our Mother, Father God. Let us feel that whatever is troubling our hearts, keeping our minds awake, giving us anxiety, let us trust that God is taking care. He knows our inner petitions. God knows about our challenges and shortcomings. And He knows precisely the medicine. So feeling cared for, let us visualize that we are enveloped in this loving light that calms our hearts as we hear this voice saying, "You are light. You are love. You are joy of living. You are peace on earth. Trust me because I already know what you need at this moment. And everything that is happening right now shall also pass, because everything passes." As we hear this loving and kind voice, we see that this light radiates and envelops our loved ones. It envelops each room in our homes, recycling energies that are not welcome, rescuing those who need help and support. Let us visualize our loved ones and those connected to our hearts in both realms, being also enveloped by this healing light. We see that this light travels through our streets, reaching hospitals, nursing homes, shelters, those who are wandering the streets. This light reaches prisons, our neighbors' homes, and as it envelops our whole planet, we raise our vibrations even higher to say thank you, dear Lord of Life, for giving us so much, for providing everything that we need, even before we acknowledge it. And we thank you for the blessing of this reincarnation, the opportunity to learn, to grow, to readdress mistakes of the past. We are also thankful, dear Lord, for the shortcomings that come to teach us how to be stronger. And like Jesus tonight, we say, "Oh Lord, please continue enveloping us in your light, and shall your designs be materialized here on earth. And with much gratitude in our hearts, certain of love, of God's loving care, we ask His permission to close this online spiritual care retreat. And so be it. Dear friends, let us continue in this evening or this day, whenever you are hearing or listen to the streaming, let us take it easy. Let us be thoughtful of our words, of our thoughts, of our actions, because we will continue being treated throughout this evening. If you have any questions, please write to us at kardecradio@gmail.com, and we will see you here next Monday at 6 p.m. for another online spiritual care. Have a blessed day and a blessed night.